Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Conquer AI Search Podcast, your ultimate guide to mastering the AI-driven search landscape. This podcast is brought to you by the AI Monitor team. I'm your host, Avi, and I'm excited to have Catherine joining me today.
Great to be back.
This is our deep dive series where we're uncovering the top 11 most effective generative engine optimization techniques, GEO, as we call it.
Yeah.
It's really all about making sure your valuable content, the stuff you work hard on, doesn't get lost. You want it seen, you want it used in this rapidly evolving AI-driven landscape.
And we are building this picture piece by piece, aren't we? In our previous deep dives, we've already tackled a couple of pretty foundational techniques.
I have.
We explored implementing things like the LLMs.txt file. You can think of it almost like a robots.txt file, but specifically for AI models.
Oh, okay.
And we also looked at leveraging the unique dynamics of platforms like Reddit and other user-generated content spots.
Because the data shows AI is looking there.
Oh, absolutely. The data's clear. AI models are definitely paying attention to those platforms.
All right. They're looking beyond just the traditional company website. And so today, we're diving into the third technique on our list. And this one might sound, well, almost surprisingly traditional, kind of basic even.
Mm-hmm.
We're talking about using credible citations
But
within your own content, but doing it strategically. That seems to be a really powerful way to earn trust and boost your visibility, specifically with generative AI.
it really is. And our mission for this deep dive is to get to the heart of why. Why do these AI models place such a high value on citations? And maybe more importantly, how you can leverage that understanding. We want to show you how to strategically weave citations into your content to, significantly increase the chances of your material being flagged as authoritative and actually cited by the AI when it generates those answers.
Because if the AI is building answers, kind of like building a wall, you absolutely want your content to be one of the trusted bricks it uses.
Precisely. Couldn't have said it better.
Yeah.
So let's dig into why citations something that feels like it belongs in, academic papers or textbooks. Why are they suddenly so critical in this age of AI? And it all goes back to that core function we mentioned. Generative AI isn't just pointing you to a page link, it's actually creating something new by synthesizing information it finds out there.
It's almost like it's writing a mini research paper, but like on the fly, isn't it?
Oh, it's a great analogy.
Yeah, and just like any good research paper, it needs to back up its claims, it needs references.
Exactly. And they're doing it a lot. There was this fascinating recent analysis. I think it looked at something like 40,000 responses.
Wow.
And get this, 250,000 citations pulled from the big players. Perplexity, Gemini, ChatGPT. The data is just crystal clear. These platforms are citing multiple sources per response on average.
And these aren't small numbers either. You mentioned Perplexity, the one's known for showing its sources right.
Yeah.
It cites about, 6.6 sources to a response?
6.61, yeah. And Google's Gemini is right behind it at 6.1 on average.
Okay.
And even ChatGPT, in its standard mode without maybe specific web browsing prompts, it still averages around 2.6 sources cited.
That right there feels like a huge opportunity. It's undeniable proof that AI is actively looking for and citing sources.
It is. And this is where Generative Engine Optimization, or GEO, really shows its difference from, say, traditional SEO.
How so?
Well, SEO often focuses on getting you to the top of that list of links, right? Hoping the user clicks. But GEO is about making your content so trustworthy, so digestible, that the AI itself weaves it into the answers it creates. And citing sources, that's a direct, verifiable signal to the AI. It says, hey, this information isn't just pulled out of thin air, it's backed up.
So it's kind of like giving your content a verifiable stamp of approval, like a professional resume. But with solid references, the AI can actually check.
That's a good way to put it.
And this ties directly into frameworks we talk about, like Google's EEAT. That's expertise, experience, authoritativeness, and trustworthiness.
The whole package.
Quick reminder for everyone, that's basically showing you know your stuff, you've got real-world involvement, you're seen as a leader, and you're reliable. So when you cite reputable sources within your content, you're signaling to both human readers and those AI algorithms that your information isn't just, random thoughts. It's grounded in credible data, expert views, established facts.
That's exactly right. As one source I read put it, citing reputable sources acts like that reference on a resume for your content. It significantly strengthens your credibility, both for users and for the algorithms.
And the benefits seem to ripple out, too. It's not just about signaling trust to the AI, is it? Linking out to high-quality, relevant sites.
Yeah.
That must also help traditional search engines figure out where your content fits in the grand scheme of things, like in a network of trusted information.
Yes, definitely. It shows your content isn't just making claims in isolation. It's part of a broader, established ecosystem of knowledge, connects the dots for them. Plus, honestly, it's just better for the user experience, right? If I'm reading something and I see a link to a source I recognize or a quote from an expert, it builds my confidence in what I'm reading. And it lets me dig deeper if I want to, which keeps me engaged, keeps me on the site longer.
And that engagement itself signals value.
Exactly, which search engines notice.
Content that isn't just well-written and well-structured, but also properly sourced with clear citations. Well, that signals reliability of the algorithms. It says this is factually supported.
Okay.
And that significantly increases the likelihood it gets pulled into those prominent answer boxes or enhanced displays right at the top of the results. Premium visibility, even without needing the top traditional rank. Okay, so the why is really compelling. Citations signal trust, build authority, improve the user experience, boost visibility potential. But that brings up a really interesting question. Where is the AI actually finding these sources it cites? What does the data tell us about its patterns?
Okay, this is where that massive analysis we mentioned earlier, the 40,000 responses, 250,000 citations, gives us some really crucial insights you need for any GEO strategy.
Well, lay it on us. What's the biggest takeaway?
The absolute key finding, and this might genuinely surprise some people, is that earned content represents the largest percentage of citations across these major AI platforms.
Earned content, you mean like?
Yeah, content on third-party sites,
Yeah.
affiliate websites, independent blogs, news articles, review sites, that kind of stuff.
Hold on. So it's not just about optimizing the content on your own website, your domain, your little corner of the internet?
Exactly. Now, your own domain does get cited, don't get me wrong, especially later in the customer journey, as we'll see. But overall, earned media from those third parties is dominating the citation landscape. This is such a critical insight for GEO. If you're only focused on, say, the technical SEO and content optimization on your own site, you might be missing the single biggest opportunity to get cited by AI.
It almost sounds like a return to basics in a weird way. Focus on creating genuinely valuable, credible content that other people, including those high-authority third-party sites, will actually want to reference.
Fundamentally, yes. That's a huge part of it. You want to be a source that other reputable sites look to because the AI is heavily citing them.
Okay, interesting.
The data also showed something else really cool, how the types of sources AI cites tend to change. They shift as a user moves through what we typically think of as the customer journey, or maybe just their research process.
Okay, how does that shift happen?
Well, in the early stages, someone's just exploring a problem, right?
Yeah.
Or trying to educate themselves.
Up at the funnel.
Exactly. You see a much higher percentage of citations from that third-party editorial content. Think articles, guides, research summaries. Then, as users move into comparison stages, maybe weighing options, that's when UGC, user-generated content, citations increase. This comes from review sites, forums like Reddit.
Reddit. There it is again. Bringing it back to our last deep dive. So the AI is definitely plugged into those user conversations.
Absolutely. And there are even platform-specific preferences for this UGC, which is fascinating.
Like what?
For instance, the data suggested Perplexity tends to favor YouTube and PeerSpot for user reviews. Gemini seems to lean towards Medium, Reddit, and YouTube discussions. And ChatGPT often references B2B review platforms, think LinkedIn, G2, Gartner peer reviews.
That's incredibly useful intel, knowing which platforms are prioritized for different types of content and different stages of the journey.
Yeah.
Okay, so what about when someone's in that final phase, final research, evaluation, maybe comparing specific products or services?
That's when the citations tend to shift more towards the actual brand, websites, and their direct competitors.
That makes sense.
It does, right? If you're deciding between brand A and brand B, the AI is likely going to pull information directly from their sites, or maybe comparison pages that mention both.
So your own content still matters, hugely even, but where the AI finds information about you or about the topic you cover really depends heavily on where the user is in their decision-making or learning process.
Precisely. And one last point from this data regarding source quality. While, yes, High-quality sources, academic papers, major news outlets, they are preferred,
Okay.
making up about, say, 31.5% of citations. Mid-tier sources are also frequently cited. They come in at around 26.3%.
So you don't necessarily have to be like the Wall Street Journal or a university research paper to get cited by an AI?
Not at all. There's a significant opportunity there for diverse sources. This data really shows that content from independent blogs, niche affiliate sites, industry publications, they are frequently cited by AI.
Good news for many creators.
It is. The key takeaway from this whole analysis is pretty clear. Since earned media is the biggest source category overall, building your authority and actually earning mentions on trusted third-party sites might be even more valuable for getting cited by AI than just tweaking the technical stuff on your own domain.
Wow.
It really highlights the power of influence beyond your own website.
Okay, this is getting really interesting. We know AI cites sources. We know what kinds of sources it cites, especially favoring that third-party earned media. And we understand why it does it, for trust. Now let's talk about the research that really put a spotlight on this, the academic study that actually coined the term GEO itself.
Right. That was a groundbreaking study. It came out of places like Princeton, Georgia Tech, really top institutions.
Yeah.
And this research provided the first major empirical evidence for how different on-page optimizations actually impact your visibility in generative engines.
And they specifically tested the impact of citations and adding quotations, didn't they?
They did. And it turned out to be a key finding. The study showed that simply including citations, adding quotations from relevant sources, backing up your claims with statistics, that significantly boosted source visibility by over 40%.
Over 40%.
Yeah.
That's a massive performance lift. Just by backing up your claims with evidence. That's not some small tweak.
It's absolutely not a minor adjustment. This research identified cited sources and quotation additions as being among the top performing GEO optimization methods they tested, right up there with things like improving fluency.
Impressive.
And one source I looked at delves even deeper into the specific power of using quotes. It identified 4 distinct ways that quotes specifically boost your GEO performance beyond just general credibility.
4 ways quotes specifically help with AI visibility. Okay, tell us more.
Okay, first, they boost authority and trust at a very granular level. When you quote recognized experts, industry leaders, researchers, authoritative figures, it's like giving the AI a direct stamp of approval from someone it's probably already programmed to trust to some degree. AI systems are fundamentally designed to prioritize content that demonstrates clear credibility and expertise.
That makes intuitive sense, doesn't it? It's easier for an AI to validate something attributed to, say, a known expert with clear credentials than just some general claim on an anonymous page.
Exactly. Second, quotes signal freshness and trend relevance. AI is constantly trying to provide the most current information available.
Right.
So using quotes from recent industry reports, contemporary research studies, or maybe interviews published within, say, the last 6 to 12 months, that explicitly tells the AI your content is up to date. It reflects current thinking or the current state of affairs.
So quoting a report from this year is way more powerful than citing the textbook from 5 years ago.
Precisely. Third, quotes help strengthen your points. They provide really powerful, concise evidence for the claims you're making, whether it's a statistical argument or maybe introducing a novel idea. Quoting a recognized authority or drawing directly from primary sources like studies, it creates this kind of expertise halo effect around your own content, making your assertions much more convincing to the AI.
So it's not just saying X is true. It's showing X is true, and here's the evidence, or here's the expert who agrees.
Yes, it provides that crucial layer of backing. That's something algorithms recognize as adding value and robustness. And finally, the fourth point, using quotes strategically can actually help reduce AI and plagiarism risks.
Wait, how does that work? Wouldn't quoting make it more likely to get flagged? Seems like you're using someone else's words.
But not if you do it correctly. See, AI algorithms are getting increasingly sensitive to generic or duplicated content. When you pair authoritative quotes with your unique insights, your analysis, your connecting narrative, you create content that's distinctive. It's harder for algorithms to potentially flag as unoriginal, or maybe even as AI generated itself. It adds that layer of human curation and validation that AI systems are actually looking for. You're creating a unique blend. External validation supporting your original perspective.
You're building a unique argument that's supported by external authority rather than just like rephrasing existing information. That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Okay. We get the why AI needs trust, cites often. We get the what it loves earned media, cares about quality, freshness. We get the how research proves it works, quotes help in specific ways. Now, let's get really practical.
Okay.
How do we actually implement strategic citations and quoting within our content? How do we make our stuff an AI magnet source?
Right. This is where the rubber meets the road. First thing, source selection is absolutely paramount. You have to prioritize credible, relevant, and ideally diverse voices and data. Focus on referencing industry-respected figures. Link out to original statistics whenever you can. Highlight findings from relevant case studies.
And I assume actively avoid linking to or quoting low-quality stuff, like spammy sites or heavily biased sources. That would probably hurt more than help.
Oh, exactly. It would have the opposite effect. Stick to sources that, pass that EEAT test themselves. Also, really aim for recent sources. Ideally, anything published within the last, say, 12 to 18 months, that signals freshness, which we know AI prioritizes.
Okay, recency matters.
Yeah.
What's next?
Second, proper attribution. This is just non-negotiable. You always need to include the speaker's name, their credentials, and the necessary context.
So no more vague stuff like according to experts or sources say.
Absolutely not. Not for effective GEO. You need to be specific. So a concrete example, instead of writing an expert said that AI will transform marketing, you should phrase it more like, according to Dr. Anya Sharma, a leading researcher in AI ethics at Stanford University, quote, AI is poised to fundamentally transform the marketing landscape within the next 5 years, and so on.
Right, that adds so much more weight, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Specificity, verifiability for both humans and the AI.
It makes it a usable piece of data for the AI. Third point, formatting actually matters.
So.
Well, for shorter quotes, use clear quotation marks, standard stuff. For longer ones, maybe consider using italics or setting them off as block quotes. This isn't just for, human readability. It visually signals to the AI where the quoted material begins and ends. It helps with transparency and parsing the content.
Making it easy for the AI to tell what's your original thought versus what you're attributing to someone else.
Precisely. Fourth, think about balance. While quotes and citations are great for building authority, you want to avoid overloading your content with them.
Right.
Too many can make your own unique perspective feel secondary, or maybe even get lost entirely.
Is there a general guideline, like a percentage?
It's not a hard rule, but a good aim might be for around, say, 10 to 20% of your total content to be quoted or directly cited material.
Okay.
That ensures you leverage that valuable external validation without drowning out your own voice, your analysis, and the unique value that you are bringing to the table.
Use them like powerful seasoning, maybe, not the main ingredient.
Couldn't have said it better myself. That's perfect. And finally, regular updates are really crucial.
About keeping things fresh.
Exactly. Content that relies on outdated quotes or old statistics, it just instantly feels less authoritative, less relevant. And that's especially true for AI models that prioritize freshness.
So periodically reviewing your key content pieces, swapping out old quotes or data points for more recent insights.
Yeah.
That's a must-do.
Yes, absolutely. Make it part of your regular content maintenance routine. Aim to refresh your sources, particularly direct quotes or statistics, with material from the last 12-18 months whenever possible. That maintains the signal of relevance and authority for the algorithms.
Got it.
And by diligently doing all of this within your own content, you are directly signaling to those AI models that your content is highly authoritative, trustworthy, and therefore a worthy candidate to be cited when they generate responses for users. You're actively building that evidence trail that the AI can follow, verify, and ultimately incorporate.
This deep dive really makes it incredibly clear, doesn't it? The strategic use of credible citations and expert quotes. It's not just some academic exercise or, basic good practice anymore. It's a powerful and, as the research shows, empirically proven generative engine optimization technique. It directly signals authority, trustworthiness, and relevance to AI models. And that makes your content a much more likely candidate for being cited.
It's truly about making your content easy for these AI systems to understand, easy for them to trust, and ultimately easy for them to use as a source in the answers they generate.
Yeah.
It's really a fundamental step in ensuring your valuable content gets discovered and referenced in this new AI-powered information world we're entering.
And remember, this is just the third key technique in our ongoing series focused on mastering generative engine optimization. We're progressively building this comprehensive picture for you, showing how to adapt your digital presence for the AI era. It's about shifting focus maybe from just ranking in traditional search lists
Right.
to actively influencing the actual answers that AI provides.
And we really encourage you, the listener, to take this away and actually look at your own content with fresh eyes. Are you consistently citing your sources? Are you using direct quotes from relevant experts? Are those sources recent? Are they properly attributed?
Yeah.
Implementing these steps is a practical, really impactful action you can take right now to become a more trusted source for AI.
Which leaves us with something to think about for you. As AI becomes increasingly reliant on citing external sources for the answers it generates, what does this ultimately mean for the perceived value of, say, original human research or unique analysis, distinct perspectives?
Big question.
How will creators ensure their truly unique insights even when they're properly paired with validating citations? How will they manage to stand out and maintain their inherent value in an information landscape that could become dominated by AI synthesis? That's definitely something for you to consider as you refine your own GEO strategy.
Thank you for joining us for today's podcast. We hope you found valuable insights and practical steps to implement. If you want your content to be a trusted resource that AI can rely on, visit the AI Monitor website today. We offer a variety of products and GEO services designed to help B2B SaaS companies enhance their AI visibility. Join us next time as we explore the fourth technique in our series on mastering GEO.